hoping there's no tariff on Lexington steel. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it. Who's that? Get it on. Got to get it on. Who in Nina Hartley's name is that? No choice but to get it on. Fitzdog back in studio, everybody. Fitzdog's got dates. He's got his podcast. Got his very funny special. Not all specials are funny, but Fitzdog's is funny.
Thank you, my friend.
It's up on YouTube, right?
It's on YouTube. Yep, we just hit 500,000 views.
Hey.
That's a good number on YouTube, so I'm finding out. I mean, I talked to a lot of people. I go, he's got his thing on YouTube. And then they go, that's 44,000. And they go, that's okay. That's pretty good. Whatever. But 500, that's big.
Well, you're a part of that. You're a big part of that.
Really?
I've been on here, as you know, quite a few times. And I feel like your audience, when I do live shows, they come out. And they're great audience members. I
agree.
They're all male, and it's fantastic.
All right. Well, let's talk about lots of subjects. Rudy Pavich is here. Just got off the road with Rudy. Had a good time doing shows in the Pacific Northwest.
Tacoma's great. Good
all right. So speaking of this, all right. So I do not feel like people profile enough. And what I'm saying is we about 20 years ago we're like, no more profiling. It's bad, And then we did this thing where we went no profiling, and then we said you can't judge, you cannot judge, and I'm like, okay, that's all we got as a society. Now, okay, we stopped judging. Now bitches are wearing pajamas to the airport. Because we stopped judging. I frequently see women in slippers.
Is that the offshoot of this?
Bunny, yes, when you stop judging, you get a bunch of shit you don't want, because judging kind of keeps people in their lane,
Yeah.
It's good to judge. Now, there's a version of profiling and a version of judging that isn't good, but in general, it's a very helpful tool. Mm-hmm. And I do it all day because of my hypervigilance. And so when years ago, it was a couple years ago or something, we had some guy booked on the show. And I said, what is the guy? What's his thing? And they go, he's a popular white rapper. And then I got here and it was like an hour before the show, and I said, somebody should call this guy's people and make sure he remembers that he's coming. He's going to be late. He may not even know it. And everyone sort of looked at me like, well, his call time is 10 minutes before 1. We shoot at 1. I go, call him now. Call him now. But they're like, it's an hour before. He's a white rapper. Just call. They call. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, so nobody told us this. Okay, so he's not. All right, thanks. He's not coming in. Yeah. And I'm like, I know he's not coming in. That's why I'm telling you to call. Yesterday, we're doing a show, and we had Asian stuntman coming in. And I announced to everybody, okay, he's going to be early, so we got to be prepared to go a little bit early. And everyone looked at me and went, you've never met the guy. Yeah. And I said, I don't need to meet the guy. I never met the white rapper either. But this guy's Asian, and he's a stuntman, and he does martial arts. So he's not going to be late.
Yeah.
He didn't get drunk last night and sleep in. He won't be late. Fitzdog. Now, Fitzdog is a different profile. That's an experience profile. I'm like, he's not going to be funny. Mm-hmm. So
he won't let you down. I mean, he'll let you down, but he won't let you down.
He's been on the show 28 times. He's never been. So, no, I said.
It's called a straight man, Adam. It helps you be funny.
I said, Fitzdog is going to be on time, and he'll be prompt and maybe a little early.
Pencil in his ass.
Because I pencil in his ass, right in that school bus, dropping him off. And so I was like, this is who he is. And every time I do it, people kind of look at me, and I'm like, don't look at me weird. That's how I go through life. It's a helpful tool. You know things before they happen, and you don't get caught off guard. Mm-hmm. We have an hour's notice that the white rapper's not coming in. We don't find out 6 minutes after the show was supposed to start when we start telling. It's easy. Right. I was walking through Burbank at night, still displaced, with my girlfriend, and we're like crossing a major intersection a couple nights ago. It was like 9 at night, and there's a kind of a big dude, and he was kind of walking in front of us, and he was walking weird, like he was intoxicated. And he was a big guy, and he was walking in a clearly, he was under something. I don't know what. I can't tell what drug he's on. I don't know if it's booze. I don't know if it's an impairment, but you get to the other side, and then we're crossing the other way, and that means the three of us are just going to stand together on this corner in this small space at night in the middle of Burbank, and she's just trotting along, and I like grabbed her shoulder, and I said, pull it back, like come back, we'll stand on this side, we'll cross over. And she's like, huh? And I should watch the guy, and it's like he looked off, weird, fucked up, and big. So I was like, I'm sure he's up to nothing, but why are we even doing this?
Right.
We can avoid.
Guy's got a profile.
Let's just profile people.
Right.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's an easier life. You do it with dogs. That's all you do with dogs. 100% dog profiling constantly. Anyone who's walking their dog and there's another dog walking toward them, profile up the wazoo, right?
Yes.
So tail wagging, friendly, know that dog.
Yeah.
What breed is it? It's not bad, and judging isn't bad either.
No, and look, I was a single man at one point, and my numbers were good. I wasn't hard on the eyes, and I would look for a girl, and it's like a hunter. You look for the weak one in the herd.
That's
If
right.
I see a girl and she's got a tattoo on her hand and a nose ring, she makes bad decisions.
Right.
I'm in.
Right. You're just going to be another one of her many bad decisions.
Right.
Yeah. The tongue piercing always suggests open for business, too.
Yeah.
Because that's sending a little message to the world of
There's
who
a
you
matching. There's a matching unseen piercing that goes with the tongue one.
Right. And
You're
you'll
not
find
sure
that
where,
one
but
out.
you'll
You'll see it later.
It's a treasure hunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was 3 people on my flight from Vegas this morning, 7 a.m., and as soon as I saw them, I went, those 3 are trouble.
Yeah.
You could see it in them, kind of fucked up, like on the way back from Vegas early morning. And that's always the case. The flight out of Vegas, 7 a.m., they've stayed up all night, and they were playing the slot machine at the gate, which is never a good sign.
Never.
Yeah, right.
And we got, literally, the flight starts to back up from the airport, and I hear these 3 get into it with the flight attendant, and the flight attendant yells, "Sir, if you don't put that window down, we will turn this plane around." And I'm like, God damn it, shut up up there. Like, we got to get to...
I can't. It's so... The weird part is the people that cannot maintain. Like you see all those videos, and you have that thing where the cop just goes, I'm going to tell you for the last time to roll the window down, or I am going to break the window, ma'am. So either roll it down right now, or I break the window. And they go, you don't even know. And it's like, all right, here we go. And it's like so avoidable.
Right.
Could have saved your window.
Yep.
He told you this is how it was going to be.
Yeah, me and my buddy jumped the turnstile in New York when we were younger, and there was an undercover cop, and he grabbed us, and he's writing us tickets, and I'm just looking at the cop like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And my friend's going like, oh, you're a big guy, you're a tough.
Yeah, right.
And so he got cuffed and he got taken in
That's
for
right.
no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I want to ask you guys if you'll sign off on this rule. Rudy, you weren't there, but after the show in Spokane on Sunday night, an Uber picked us up. This guy was driving a Tesla sedan, but it was squatted. It was lowered, which you don't typically see with the Tesla crowd,
Right.
You'll see like a slammed Acura or Honda or BMW 3 Series, but you don't see the slammed, squatted Uber. Now, with my car radar that's built in and my hypervigilance and everything, I'm walking up to the car and I can see it's 2 inches lower than it's supposed to be, which means all that means is rough ride. That's essentially taking cars, put on lower, stiffer springs, and it's good for the racetrack, but it's not good for the potholes and the highway.
Speed bumps, yeah.
Then we proceed to get dropped off at the wrong hotel because there's 3 of them with the same name in the same 3 blocks, and we go to the wrong one. And as we go to pull into the hotel roundabout, the driveway, the car's just dragging. It's scraping.
Yeah.
First off, the guy has to hit it at a hard and weird angle. Like when your car's real low, you can't go straight at the driveway. You got to go sideways at the driveway. So he's going sideways, and he's going to bring it. He's going to cut it back. It's like he's sailing. He's finding the wind. And we drag, which is the worst sound ever. All along the driveway. Turn around. And then we get to the thing, and we go, oh, this is the wrong hotel. And he goes, oh, man. Now, this guy does my favorite Uber move, and I don't understand it. It should be police. The driver's seat is full recline. It's a full recline. First off, you're not supposed to drive like you're in a fucking barber chair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're getting your hair washed. It's not even, you're not even supposed to drive that way. There is no race car driver that drives reclined. They drive up and their elbows are bent. Mostly. They don't have straight arms. There's an effective way to do it. You watch NASCAR, those guys are driving with their elbows bent. Nobody drives like that.
Yeah.
So it's not a good technique. But all you do is put people in the back of your car all day, and your seat is fully reclined. It goes way past the B pillar.
The fat guy?
No. He's just, that's how, I like driving that way. It's his thing. Also, he's got a squatted Tesla, so he's into something, but it's almost touching the seat behind. There's like 3 inches of knee room. Okay. It's weird that you're not alerted to.
I'm guessing there's music playing that's loud and you dislike.
No, there was some music, but it was not. I disliked it, but it was not loud. But when we pulled into this hotel that we weren't staying at, and there was a cab that was basically blocking both lanes, the drop-off lane and the exit, just parked sort of in the middle and a little bit cattywampus, and it was just there.
Yeah.
And the guy didn't seem to be going anywhere, and then the Uber guy was behind him, and then at some point, the Uber guy honked, and then the cab guy gave a kind of a fuck you, but moved over. And then the Uber guy pulled up, stopped, rolled the passenger side window down, and proceeded to yell at the guy. And the guy called him a pothead, which probably based on the squatted Tesla. He picked up a few tells, he did a little profiling himself. But also, maybe the cab driver's just had a really bad day and he's packing. You know what I mean? Like, okay. 2 rules if you want to drive Uber. No suspension modifications. No lift kits, no squats, no nothing. The cars, as it left the factory, they designed the best, most comfortable ride they can do. Not track days, but comfortable ride. So you cannot squat. You can't drive Uber if you squat your Tesla. No suspension modification. And 0 getting into fights with guys.
Yes.
Like, you can't roll your window down and start screaming out the window at this guy who called him a pothead and did a weird jack-off move, like his hand or something. And I'm like, why are we're really scrapping with this other guy?
Yeah.
And he doesn't know who we are or what's going on. He can just randomly put a couple caps in the side of the fucking door,
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I add another rule to that?
Oh, and no reclining. No seat
reclining at all. No.
Yeah.
No.
So as a guy who works on I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead. I totally interrupted
So
you. Go ahead.
the rule I want to add quickly is I was in Dayton, Ohio recently, and my Uber driver picked me up, and he was from Middle Eastern descent. And he had a Bollywood movie playing on his phone as we drove, and it was, and I couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
No directions. Like, he had another phone in his lap that had the directions, and then the Bollywood movie. And so, and I was going to complain to Uber, but the movie was fucking great.
Yeah.
I thought I kind of like this.
He literally was looking at a movie and attempting to drive.
Yeah.
Got that in Tijuana one time, getting in a cab on our way down to Revolution Street. There was like 5 of us. There's only enough room for 3, but the guy crams us in there, and he's got one of those portable little black and white. That's probably like maybe 1999, 2000. He's got one of those portable black and white TVs with the rabbit ears on it.
Yeah.
And he's watching, what do they call it, like the Spanish
Telemundo.
Yeah, Telemundo. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good ride. Absolutely.
Right.
In the annals of profiling, I'm back to profile. So everyone needs to know who everybody is and sort of act accordingly. Like, for instance, I never have any physical issues, okay? Never. And if I do, I don't say anything about it. But if I ever come to you and go, I'm not feeling well, I think you should take me to the hospital, something's up. Something's up, because I'll never say it, and I never have. But if you hear it from me, something's going down. But I know people who have something every week, who think something's going on. And it's like, when that person comes up to you and go, I'm not fit, you can kind of go, why don't you lay down for a minute? I'll get you some Tylenol. You know, they're probably not that. But there are certain people, if they do say it, it means something, right? So, but the profile, but people don't read the profile. Like, they don't know, they don't consider the source, which a lot of people do this. Like, I've had it happen, and you can think about it. Like, a lot of people have a kind of, you sure you can, whatever. I've had it happen a million times where I'll go, like, I'll hang the TV set. And I go, are you sure you can hang? And I go, I put a Lamborghini inside my office. I put a Lamborghini inside of my office. Well, first I built the office, then I put the Lamborghini in it. So I will be able to hang the Samsung. But you should know that, because you should know who I am. But on the other hand, if you're talking to somebody else, maybe you should be asking that.
Yeah.
But you should be asking me that. It's a waste of your time. You know what I'm saying?
I went to urgent care. I'm more of the type that goes in to the doctor if something is wrong. Something was going on with my ear, and I went to urgent care, which is, do they have them all around the country, or is that a California thing?
I think they do, or some version of it.
It's basically a collection of medical facility workers that didn't qualify for a hospital or a doctor's office.
Yeah.
And so I go in, they're like the substitute teachers of the doctor world. And I go in, and I had to wait a very long time in an office that I didn't even want to sit down. It had bulletproof glass.
There's a lot of homeless people rolling around.
There's always a lot of homeless people there. And so I finally get in, and I sit down, and the doctor comes in, and he was late. Like, I sat there for 10 minutes, and he came in a cloud. He had clearly just smoked a cigarette in the alley. And my profile is, do I trust this guy's judgment about health now?
Well, they always say the contractor has the worst house on the block.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Many a smoking doctor doesn't mean they can't do their job.
Right.
I do like the smoker who doesn't realize the non-smoker smells them all the time. Like, I used to have the barber smoker guy. He'd go out, blow butt, flick it off, then he'd walk back in and go, all right, should we get started? Next thing you know, he's putting shit all over my face. And I'm like, your fucking smells like, your fingers smell like an ashtray. Right? Like, you got it. You got to know, right? Pretend I'm your stepdad and I'm in the military and you're 14 and you've been blowing a spleef out in the garage. What would you do then? You wouldn't just come flying into the house.
Do you trust a fat doctor?
I trust I don't think you have to live it, whatever that thing is. I want to hear your information, but I don't think you need to live it. Now, at a certain point, you don't want a personal trainer who's morbidly obese. You know what I mean? But I can still, I'll listen to him.
Yeah, my aunt has more information about shit she does not know about and dishes it out. So to go to you don't have to necessarily live it. She doesn't live anything, but knows so much about everything and will tell you that she knows everything.
But does she know it?
That's the problem. She doesn't know it,
Well, so back to profiling, or back to sort of me saying, I'm not feeling well, maybe I should go to urgent care. You should jump up and run for the car if I say that, because I will never say it to you. So we're in Tacoma and Spokane, right? And you guys know the club world. The club world is like, well, the place holds 200 people or it holds 310 people, and then you're going to get 80% of the door or 85% of the door, and then the tickets are, my tickets are expensive. The VIP one is like $95. The second tier is like $65, and the general admission is like $55 or whatever. And then you sort of start doing a math. Well, look, if we sell the place out, and the average price is $60 and whatever, and we get 85% of the whatever. And so you get a little number in your head, and then, before the show, you kind of go out and you peek out. How are we doing out there tonight? Well, the first show sold out, but the second show's a little lighter, and you start going, all right, so 300 and then like half of that for the second show. Okay, we're at 450 all in, 2 shows. You start kind of working these numbers out. So Mike August isn't with me on this trip. He's always doing the trip, but he's not. He's not always. And this time he's not, but he usually is. I get the check from the club owner at the end of the night on Sunday night. It is both clubs because they're connected, Spokane and Tacoma. So it's a check from Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday night. And I get the check, and I'm looking at the amount, and I'm looking at it, and I go, this is light. Like something's off here. Now, here's where the profile comes in. Mike and I have done this for 15 years, and I've never once said to Mike, hey, man, can you look into this? Because I don't think they tried to steal from me. I think they miscalculated something. It's not penciling out, right? And then I write Mike an email that night. It says basically, look.
Oh, so you didn't say anything to the club owner. You saved it for Mike.
I didn't. Well, he made the check out. Yes, you're right. I just sort of looked at it and I went, this. No, actually, my first thought was I was just a little disappointed. Like I was like, I thought we did better this weekend, but I guess we didn't. First I turned on myself.
Yeah, don't let him downplay it, Fitzdog. He put a hole in the wall. Okay, he was so pissed. Yeah.
No, listen, considering my former jobs, I never care, and stand-up's easy and it's fun and whatever, but. I did look at it and went, this seems light. But we packed up and left. And then I was kind of crunching the numbers and kind of working. And anyway, we made this much, was in Tacoma. So how'd we only make way like a quarter of that, but we sold more tickets? I'd figured something out. So then I did something I've never done in my entire professional career. I sent an email to Mike August and I said, hey, I think this is light. We made this much in Tacoma. We sold almost as many tickets in Spokane, yet I got this quarter of the money. And we sold more than half the tickets, and I got less than a quarter of the money from Tacoma. Something seems wrong. Mike then writes back his knee-jerk email, which is, well, here's why, and leave me alone. You know what I mean? He writes back this long. It's a thing. It's you know what most people's default setting is just sort of like, just go home. Just go home.
Right,
just go home.
Well, what
just
were you wearing? Right.
Right. And so he writes that last time we were in, we did this much. Our deal was for 85%. He basically just tells you what you already know, but he doesn't address it. And it was a sort of go away. It was a standard, here's why you got what you got. See you later. Mm-hmm. And then I got to the airport the following day, and I got on the phone with him, and I said, hey, listen, do the numbers. Really look at the numbers, because something's short here. It's not right. I'm not saying they try to rip me off or anything. I think they made a mistake when they were calculating this. There's no way I made this much in Tacoma and then that little in Spokane for the same thing with the same number of people, the same price and everything. It's not penciling out. Then he gives me we got 85% of the door. The club keeps the other. He tells you stuff you yes. All the stuff I know now. Go look at this. Tickets, just do it. Just crunch it. And you go, well, last time in, we did this, and we had the same deal as last time. And they tell you stuff you already know, like each club is owned by the same owner, so they combine that. It's combined. Yes, it's combined. It's light. I think it's light. Well, I don't know. He kind of had me talk me out of it, basically. Get on the plane, fly back to Burbank, land, get to Burbank, open phone, email from Mike. They were 10 grand short. I was like, yeah, I know. But here's the thing. When the guy who never says a word about it, who's super good at math, I do math on my feet super fast, and I'm super accurate, and just when it comes to shit like measurements and stuff like that, like I'm not wrong. When that guy says look into it, don't go, all right, have fun. So why don't you have another drink? You know, like just go, oh, he never. Okay, I'm going to look into this.
Sure.
Not shove off.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all. But for your sake, it'll help you.
Yeah.
And me. And by the way, you get a percentage of the 10 grand, so good for you.
Right.
But why not?
Uh-huh.
Between your merch guy and the club stealing from you, man, you have to sell a Newman car here pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. When Rudy does my merch, when he hands me the cash, I'm always like, feels light. It's light.
And
it
what's
feels
the merch?
light.
Books?
It feels light.
A lot of books.
You selling books? Now, let me ask you this. When you go with him and you sell the merch, do you have to travel with the merch? Is that your suitcase?
No, he travels with it because we're usually coming from different places.
Oh, so you lug the books with you in a suitcase?
Not only do I lug those books, but, okay, everyone should understand this. And then, Fitzdog, I think you're going to vibe with this because you're a celebrated author.
Yes.
Yes.
There was a party.
Dear Mrs. Fitzsimmons.
Confetti all over the
still
floor in
going.
here.
It's a great book Fitzdog
thank you.
wrote. When you are done selling your book, when the publisher deems the bloom is off the rose, these things ain't flying off the shelves anymore, they are left with an inventory of books they have printed.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. They don't print them as they're sold. For me, it's into the thousands for each book. I would say each book has about 4,000 to 5,000 extra books. They're done. They're in a case. They're not selling them anymore. And so you get the call from the publisher, and I've told you guys this one. They go, would you like us to incinerate these books? Like it's, Nazi Germany, circa 1938, You want us to have go to the town square and burn your art?
Yeah.
Or you can take them and...
Take them or pay for them?
They'll give them to you.
No way.
Well, hold on. They maybe pennies on the dollar.
Right,
it may be pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
But if it's for me, in my mind, it's like they're giving you your books back, or they'll throw them out for you.
Uh-huh.
It's funny, Larry Miller, and it's funny because we went to the 10 Things I Hate About You
with
high school with Larry Miller. Mm-hmm. I own a warehouse. And I've always owned the warehouse since I started writing books. So that they'd go, we got 4,200 books. I go, drop them off. Uh-huh. And they just drop them off, and I just stack them in just boxes and boxes and boxes. But by the time you get to your sixth book, now you have 30,000 books. And I'm opening a B. Dalton's over here, So... I should sell greeting cards up front, get a Starbucks franchise in the lobby.
Yeah, kids' books.
So, Pride Month, I have a whole Pride section for Pride Month, know. So I'm sitting there and I take them all. Larry Miller's funny. He said, who wrote a book or two as well. He's like, I don't have a warehouse. I have a garage. But I told him, fine, drop him off. He said it's literally like a fort in his garage. Like he can't use. There's no more cars in the garage. He has 12,000 books in his garage, and he wouldn't throw them out either. But he doesn't know what to do with them. And they're literally, you could build a house out of them. They're like bricks, So I go, look, I'm just going to take. I have a scale back there. They start charging at 50 pounds. I take a merch bag, which blew out, blew up, fucked up, broke down, and somebody literally threw it out on the curb, and I went and got it. I rolled it back in here. I took some 1x3 and some wood screws with some finish washers on it.
This bag looks like Eddie Van Halen's guitar.
Yeah. Or Valerie Bertinelli's pussy. Whatever has more miles on it. She was mean to me, so I'm allowed to do that.
All right.
But anyway, I rolled that thing back in. I got a piece of 1x. I screwed it to the bottom. I patched a big hole in the bottom with this 1x, and then I spray painted it, fixed the handle, and blah, blah, blah. It's still kind of Wounded Warrior stuff, but it gets around. I've been to 20 other cities with that thing. I put in 49 pounds worth of book. I put it on that scale. I get right to 49, and I drag it with me everywhere we go, and I just sell all the books. And to me, it's not money. It's cash, because we don't really have cash now, and you still got to tip the valet or the whoever. There's still like tipping going on. It's the cash mixed with the another 2 bricks have come from the wall of books, and it's just a little. It's like satisfying. Right. And I swear to God, I was coming home after selling 49 pounds worth of books over the weekend, and I'm like, I'm almost out of books, and I had bricks and bricks and walls. I had 25,000 books. So there's something weirdly satisfying, but to other people, I realized it could be time-consuming and frustrating or something. I don't know what it is.
Well, no, here's my merch, and this is something you may want to look into if your bag breaks down any further. Is I sell pins. These little metal pins got my face and my name on them. I bring a bag with about 200 in them. I can fit it right in the corner of my bag.
Yeah.
And then I sell them at the gig for cash. No credit card, no Venmo, no bullshit. This is cash business.
Yeah. No, it's smart.
And then I bring home the cash and I walk in the door, and I swear to God, my wife, it's never welcome home. It's never, it's handout, wants to count the cash.
Yeah.
It's like she has a little green visor and a cigar, and then just sits down at the table and starts separating. And they have to be face up in the same direction. And then,
do you let yourself in to your home, or do you do a secret knock like you're at a speakeasy and a little flap goes through the door? Who's there? The mailman. Always visits twice. All right. And then goes back down. You hear counting machines in the back.
Right. And she has to do it naked.
Yeah.
Just panties and a bra.
With a fan going.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's great to have that cash, man. Like, we just built a new fence, and we paid the contractor many thousands of dollars in cash.
Yeah, it's nice. Rudy's got his golf balls.
Yeah, the golf balls are hot. I sell, like, I've done.
You sell golf balls?
I sell them a sleeve of them. It's $15. There's a little saying on it from one of my jokes in the act.
$15 for how many?
No, 15.
For how many balls?
For 3 balls. It's like a sleeve of balls.
All right. Yeah.
But then most people buy them and then give them as gifts. They're like, oh, my brother-in-law's a golfer, whatever it is. There are times, and it happened this weekend in Tacoma, where the club will pay you X amount of dollars to host or to feature.
Yeah.
They're like this weekend, Adam's fans are the best, and I literally sold $1,000 of golf balls.
Wow.
You shitting me? I sold like $600 worth of books. $1,000 worth of golf balls in 2 shows?
In 2 nights. Yeah, absolutely.
Some goddamn golf balls, man.
Pretty sweet.
It's in fact, a guy I opened up for one time saw me. Like, the guy had like T-shirts or whatever, and he's selling 1 or 2, but I am like, it's like a fire sale. It's like, literally just throwing them out.
The big thing in the black circuit is to sell photos after the show. They used to do it with Polaroid cameras, and you'd line up after the show, and they had it like a factory. The line was here. You walked over. The camera was preset. Hug, snap the photo, and then sign the bottom, and it was $20. It cost them $2.
Yeah. Right.
And they'd have a line of people doing it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. When
$1,000 worth of golf balls?
It doesn't happen every weekend, but every now and again when I go out, it does well.
That'll fit in a backpack, right?
Yeah. So I typically bring, each box is 12 balls. I typically bring about maybe 10 to 15 boxes when I go out. And then, you kind of do the math. And sometimes it's $15, so a lot of times people just hand you a 20 and go, just keep it.
Right.
So, but I love the fact that, like, when Adam talks about it's not about the money, at the end of the night, if somebody really wants a life hack here to come to a Carolla show, stand in line last show Saturday night and wait till halfway when the merch line is down, because then he's like, I ain't taking these home. He's like putting them on people. He's like, I'll pay you $10 to get it.
Well, it's demoralizing to restock these things, and the purpose is to get them out.
Sure.
So it feels horrible to bring them back.
No, it's like being the chick who's walking home with her shoes in her hand on a Saturday night.
Homes.com. Some might say that Homes.com is the best home shopping site. It may be. Homes.com's super comprehensive, transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth, that's right, info they need to find the right home. It's the one I always use. Homes.com. Homes.com. We've done your homework. Morgan & Morgan. Here's a dirty little secret the insurance industry doesn't want you to know. Insurance companies profit by holding on to your money for as long as possible. So, after an accident, they might do whatever they can to delay or deny your claim. This is why they can keep those profits growing. Morgan & Morgan fights hard against these corporations to make sure that you get every dollar you deserve. I've spoken to these guys. They're good people. You've seen the commercials. It's a family-run business. When Morgan & Morgan takes a case, they're almost always going after the big insurance companies and not the individuals at fault. There's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury firm. It's Morgan & Morgan. Am I right, Dawson?
Hiring the wrong firm could be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Just visit forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. That's forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. This is a paid advertisement.
Speaking of travel, and this is just a general whatever thing, but it dawned on me in a time, it's easy to sit back and think about all the times you were slighted or shorted or disrespected or whatever, but you do have to think about the things that went right every once in a while. And we went out to go to Tacoma and Ubered. My girlfriend and I Ubered to Burbank, and she said, "Well, I'm going to go in and check in or whatever. You grab the bags or whatever." And the guy popped the trunk, and I went to the back of the trunk, and I grabbed the bags. And now the interior of the car of the Uber was just black leather, black carpet, black on black, like black leather, black carpet. And then the trunk is just all black trunk material, carpet material, whatever. And the guy popped it and then left. And then I went in and I found my girlfriend. I had all the baggage. And then she paused about 2 minutes later and she goes, "Did you get my backpack?"
Oh, her black backpack.
Her black pack. Her black pack.
Uh-huh.
They charge for those Polaroids, the black pack does. That's how they make their money.
You're profiling right now.
That's right. And I'm like, I go, oh. Now, I then realized the trunk is a sea of black carpet and your black backpack in there. But I'm good. I was like, no, it wasn't in there. She left it in the black interior of the car where you put it down at your feet and it's just a black on black hole. It's gone. It's gone. And then we're in there and it was like, I was like, oh, everything's in her backpack. She's this trip ruined, like misery. Like it's going to be a whole trip. If this is our CVS, I got to find a CVS. I don't have it's going to be whatever. And her and I just stood there, and I just went, call the guy. Maybe he's not gone. Maybe he hasn't gotten too far away or whatever. And we both turned around, and the guy was holding the backpack, standing there, like a little out of breath.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you left this in the car." And I said, okay, remember this moment for the time when you go, why me? Why every time? Every time. I go, no, just remember this. The guy's
Tell me about the tip.
We literally... Oh, I had to provide the tip, That's merch money going to tip the guy. I'm like, But, yeah, you got it $20 or whatever. She made sure and gave him a tip. He just started to leave. She chased him down and gave him a tip, which is the right thing to do. But it was literally like out of a movie where we're both facing the counter and went, I'll go out to the curb, you call it, and we both just turn around and he's literally standing there. And it's like, in a world where nothing works out, remember this moment. But... don't get a black backpack.
No.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
It will turn you just, I don't know, sorry, it will turn you just, I don't know, sorry, Hello Kitty, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care what message you're sending out to the world, anything but black, because 60% of the interiors are black.
Right.
They go in on the seat next to you, it's black, or down at your feet, which is black carpet, or in the trunk, which is,
or camouflage. Don't get a camouflage bag. You won't see it anywhere.
Yeah.
If Ted Nugent picks you up,
That's right.
it's gone, man.
Was this in front of the Tacoma Hotel?
No, this is
Burbank.
This is at Burbank.
Leaving.
This is
gotcha.
leaving to Burbank.
Yeah.
Rudy and I had a good Tacoma experience.
I don't know if you. That's why I was going to bring it up. I don't know if you told the story yesterday or not.
No, I did
it's
not
so
get
good.
into
Please.
the crop duster.
Oh, it was so funny.
You tell it. I think it'll be funnier.
So Adam and I, after the show on Friday night, are outside of the hotel having a drink and just like chilling out, and these two guys walk by. They recognize Adam. They were at the early show. They went out drinking, and the guy's like, "Hey, big fan. Do you mind if we get a photo?" Sure, obviously. Adam stands up, and it's these two guys, and the one guy's going, "Dude, Ace, my buddy is the biggest fan. He listens to every show. We're carpenters. We work together.
Built a sauna.
Yeah, built a sauna. And man,
Took the tree down.
That's right.
Milled
it.
the lumber on site. Like
All right.
there is, go to the Home Depot carpenter, and then there's fell the tree and milled it out in the wilderness like Grizzly fucking Adams. So he did all that.
Yeah. So this guy's like, he listens to you every day. And as they're about to go in and take a photo of these three guys, his buddy drops the worst ass you've ever smelled.
Oh.
And he goes, "Oh, man, sorry guys. I can't be in the photo. I just farted." And he walks like 20 feet away and lets Adam and the guy stand in his stench. And he's like, and the guy's like, "I can't do it, man. I'm sorry." And at some point, I just yelled, No. Get over here. You're not going to do it. I mean, it smelled, when you walk in Austin on 6th Street and that sewer smell comes up, it smelled like this guy had ate a dead moose and just shat it on the street. It was so bad.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to blow up outdoor areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one time I was with Jimmy and he blew up a beach area with an offshore breeze.
With an offshore
and I'm
breeze.
like, wow, Jimmy, taking out a large section of the beach with the breeze in the open area, that's gas,
Yeah, that's because that bathing suit doesn't have lining. So the air, there's no trapping. It comes right out to the world.
He blew us up, then left the blown up zone.
Yeah.
And then we, for some reason, acted like it was the designated picture spot on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
We didn't go, well, we should move out of the fart bubble ourselves.
Right.
We just kept standing there, just being punished by this guy's
Getting in
ass.
your clothes for later.
Yes, in my hair, in my clothes, in
I had
my
to wipe
DNA.
up the lens of the camera.
It's fogged out.
You see the picture and everybody's faces squirmed up.
Yeah, but it was all made right when he pulled out 128 pictures of his sauna.
Yeah.
And I'm like, imagine that guy farting in that sauna. Imagine 210 degrees and that guy blows ass in there. I mean, that at that point it becomes, manslaughter. You know what I mean? You will
that's
take
the
out your
Holocaust.
sauna partner.
Yeah. Right.
There is that story, Dawson and Andrew, you can look for. I keep hearing it, which is, it's not in the news, our news, but it's a woman that says she had like sinus surgery and her boyfriend farted on her. Did you hear this? Her boyfriend farted on her, and like 7 years later, she's still not right.
Wow.
But now, by the way, when that person says, "I need to go to urgent care," you go, "Becky, just sit down.
Yeah.
I'll get you some Ovaltine. I'll warm up some milk. Just sit down," because that person's clearly affected by things. But she says her boyfriend farted on her head after like a surgery, and she's been infected.
Yeah. Wow.
Have you ever been driving alone and you fart so bad that you have to pull over and check the bottom of your shoes?
Oh, no, but I
no.
like that. I think I
done
can
that.
tell.
Yeah.
You do that?
Yeah.
That's why you got to have the black interior.
Got the black interior, windows cracked.
Yeah. There was a guy who shit his pants on my flight the other day, seat in front of me, and just like blew him out bad.
How do you know?
Well, because there was a girl who was sitting, a little girl was sitting next to me. She was 6, and she out of nowhere just goes, "Grammy, you smell like poopy."
Oh, yeah.
And I started to laugh, and then it hit me, and I was like, "Whoa, that does smell like poop." All of a sudden, the guy in front of me jumps up, runs to the back of the plane. This is like while it's landing. It is. I mean, we are like 90 seconds from touchdown, and I hear the woman say, "Sir, go back to your seat. And this guy does not put up a fight. He goes right back to his seat. And then as the plane literally hits the ground, the girl next to me goes, Grammy, you do smell like poopy. And then it hits me again. And I'm like, what is happening? We finally get to the spot where they ding the plane. You can stand up. The second that ding goes off, that guy jumps up and he runs past me to the bathroom. And now we're all smelling it. Like, what is going on? I stand up to grab my bag. I look down on the seat in front of me, and I'm not kidding, there is a pile of shit in the seat in front of me.
Oh, man.
And this dude was like maybe in his 60s, like low 60s, but cognizant.
Was it Spirit or Frontier?
Ooh, Frontier. Yeah. You know me with that Frontier credit card, baby. 2 bags fly free.
Frontier is like, we have a totally full flight, but our designated shitter's not showing up. We'll give a voucher to someone who will leave the flight. We need FAA regulation says the Frontier Airlines needs one shitter on every flight. Yeah. So we'll give someone free accommodations in 1,000 miles if they get off this plane. Yeah.
Or become the designated shitter themselves.
Or here's some barium. Here's a bell beef. Here's a bell beefer and some barium. Just go ahead and take that. Wait 20 minutes. We'll get you on the flight. Rudy's already seated. Oh, that's brutal.
I have gone. I was in first class once, and I went back to coach and farted once the plane took off.
That's good.
Just because it's not that I was being mean to them. It's just there's so few people in first class, like they would have figured it out. Mm-hmm. So you go back to coach.
Math. Yeah.
And you just and I didn't stop at row 12 and rip it. There was little at 12, little at 19.
Spreading it.
Yeah, just work it down the aisle. Nobody. Yeah. You're kind of vaguely aware of it, but you're not getting hit with it.
Yeah, smart. The crop dust, I think they call it. Dawson has the story of the woman. Is it a video?
No, there's no video, but a woman spent 7 years suffering.
It's a picture of her,
7 years suffering from relentless sinus infections. It baffled doctors. Then they took culture samples from her nose and found E. coli because her boyfriend farted in her face.
Wow. She was like, I don't know, my boyfriend just went to an Adam Carolla show with his buddy.
Yeah, we're taking pictures out in front of the hotel. She
says they were in a hotel room with 2 queen-size beds while she recovered from an operation. She was snuggled under the covers when her ex, standing naked between the beds, turned his backside toward her. Quote, "That is when the fart happened," she said. "I never, ever, ever smelled anything that compares to that."
Read down the story and see if this guy built a sauna. I think I know this cat. Look, first off, I like the cut of this guy's jib.
Yeah.
I like it between the bed farter. That's a good dude. And I guess if they found E. coli in her nasal cavity, it could be possible. Was it saying like she had an open, like it was from the surgery, like recovering?
I'm reading.
It's a weird one. It's also, look, I feel like you'd get a thumbs up from P. Diddy.
No, apparently.
I like where your head's at, bro.
She had just had ankle surgery.
Oh.
But she imagines that her immune system was focused on healing that, and...
Yeah, she twisted the ankle trying to run away from that animal.
Right.
All right, let me ask you guys a couple of quick mom-related questions, because I've been thinking about this a lot. P. Diddy's mom shows up to court. She's 85. And then she sits there and has to hear the most horrific. I mean, as a mom, you would much rather just sit there and go, he came in a liquor store and he shot the guy behind the counter and took $80 in cash. Like you'd go, I'm not proud of him, but I guess shit happens. But the stuff they're saying about P. Diddy is scatological, bizarre, maniacal. Like she has to sit there and basically hear his girlfriends go, they're being examined, go, did he ever stop beating you? And it's like, well, sometimes his shoulder would get tired, so he would pee on me for a few minutes while he got the lactic acid out of his forearm. And then when he's done peeing on me, he'd go back to beating me. And it's like the mom just has to sit there. I love my boy.
That should be a requirement for every trial. Your mom has to sit there and listen to what you did.
I've said to people, I wouldn't go. Like, I just wouldn't go and support. I just wouldn't sit. I don't want to sit there and hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 85. This is going to be lodged in my brain until I hit the fucking coffin the next 2 years. You know, it's like, I'm not going. And then the person goes, no, they got to show support. Like, you got to show support. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I get in a crazy wig and put on like a Louis Vuitton duster and then sit in there like Aunt Esther. Is that really how much? Your mom looks nuts.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? Now, you know what I love about his mom? If someone ever said to my mom, do you think Adam's capable of murder? She'd go, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Who's Adam?
I suppose if he was angry, he might have done. You know, she's sitting there the whole time just going, my precious angel's never done any of this shit, right? Like, which is insane because it's just story after story after story and video and freak offs. And would your mom go? And would you want, first off, if my mom wanted to go, I'd go, there's no fucking way you're coming into this courthouse. I just go, don't believe anything you read. Don't believe anything else, but you're not coming to this courthouse.
But I'll tell you what my mom would do because this happened.
Janice Combs is 85 years old.
Oh, she looks 84. I was arrested.
Oh, I'm sorry, 84. She looks 83. Sorry.
I was arrested on a Friday night for fighting in a bar. I was about 16 years old. And my mother and father got the call and decided it would be best for me to leave me in jail till Monday when the judge came in.
Wow.
So they left me in there. And then when my trial came up for disorderly conduct, they did not come.
Wow.
They didn't show up.
Yeah.
I got a public defender, took my lumps.
I can, there's two stories from my childhood where it just like, it was such the epitome of my mom. First one is senior night football, varsity football, you know, when they bring the players out and then the parents come out. All of my friends are out there. They got their moms and dads. All of the moms get a single rose that the players give them. My parents nowhere to be found. And I am standing on the field in between my two best friends, Kenny and Luke, with their parents. I'm standing there by myself with a single rose in my hand.
Like the rose.
Like the loneliest episode of The Bachelor ever. Just no parents. And then shortly after that, like 6 months after that, now my mom is a good mom since then. She's come around. But I had come home on a Sunday and she goes, where you been? I said, Canada. She goes, oh, when did you go there? I was like, Thursday? She goes, really? I was like, yeah. She's like, who'd you go with? I'm like, Mom, this has been on the books for like 6 months. Didn't you like at some point on Saturday go, hey, where's that boy who goes to my kitchen every now and again? She's like, I just figured you were just out with your guys, whatever. That
was there drugs and booze involved?
No, none of that. It was more so like home life was awful because I had a terrible stepdad.
All right, well, now here's the question I keep asking everyone, and I've been really on a roll with it, which is, everyone's got their stories good and bad, but I'm trying to figure out, like, some people go, well, like, people tell me, like, sometimes I'll go, yeah, my dad didn't do shit for anybody, you know, he just in his own world, he's real selfish, so I would just sit in the driveway all day and just shoot hoops. That's all I did, just sit there alone. I go, well, where'd the hoop come from? And they go, well, my dad put it up. I go, all right, I got you beat. Because there was none of that. Your dad went and put a hoop up, something. That's even if he just meant he wanted to go inside and get drunk, but he put a hoop up. I'm asking about moms. I want to know where she was on the sandwich scale, because you can tell who she is and how into her kids by how much time she spent making sandwiches. Because it's laborious. It takes a while. There's a half-ass version. I talked to Dr. Drew. I said, I know your relationship with your mom. What was your sandwich relationship like? And he goes, she made a shit it was a shit sandwich. She just made a quickie, get out of here. And I'll say, there are other moms who got the fresh Kaiser rolls just the way their little sweetie liked them, and the smoked Gouda, and he likes ham, not turkey, so I got a side of that, and the cut and tomato. That's top shelf. That's 10. I had 0. I didn't have sandwiches.
No sandwich at all.
No, you can go lower than 1. There's something below shit sandwich. There's no sandwich. You can be in a no sandwich zone. But I ask everyone, and everyone's sandwich experience with their mom comports with the rest of their. There's no such thing as 10 sandwich mom and then shit mom after that. If you're a 10 as a sandwich mom, you're also at the volleyball game cheering. You're down on the 50-yard line accepting the rose. You know, when you're high sandwich score, you're saving for college. You're doing all that.
Yeah.
So, sandwich mom, Fitz dog.
Cream cheese and jelly on Wonder Bread.
Wow.
And it's not always about the sandwich. It's more her relationship, which is if that's what you wanted.
Did not want that.
Oh, okay. Bad sandwich mom then.
No,
That's easy sandwich.
She was a bad sandwich mom, and she also, I played hockey growing up. And when I joined the team, freshman year of high school, she did not buy me, hey, let's go to the sporting goods store. I had skates, but I got them from my friend's older brother. Everything was a hand-me-down. And so I had no pads. And I played the first month of hockey with no pads on, just skates, sweatpants. Everybody else had on pads. And then I started finding abandoned stuff in the garbage in the locker room. And some of it had no Velcro, so I just taped it on.
Yeah.
And I had a street hockey helmet.
Right.
It wasn't a legitimate padded helmet. It was like an ornamental helmet.
It is insane when you then become a parent and like at some point your kids will go like, I'm kind of interested in playing this or doing that or checking that out. And you go, all right, let's go over to the Dick's and get you set up. You just go over there. It's like, what else do you need? Well, I need volleyball shoes and knee pads and a thing and a thing. And you just go, all right. Yeah. I don't know what happened to our parents where that was never an option.
Yeah.
Nah.
But you sound like you had some pretty rough sandwich years.
Yeah. No sandwiches. Decent dinner. Mom made dinner every night. Yeah. But never a sandwich. And
never a sandwich.
Never a sandwich. It was always, she was very convinced that wheat bread was way healthier than white bread. That was always the stigma. We got to eat the wheat. But you could only have one piece of bread. You'd have to cut it in half. We always had Oscar Mayer ham, no cheese. Never any Miracle Whip, no mayo. It was always dry. But the other thing that I didn't even care so much about the sandwich, it was the chocolate milk, how you had to step on it with the regular milk. That was what drove me the most insane.
The chocolate milk.
What would it be? Like another...
so she gave you a thermos of milk?
No, she would if you poured a glass of chocolate milk, you could only fill it up halfway with the diesel.
At home.
And then pour the rest with the regular milk to not waste the chocolate milk because it was more expensive. Right. It cost 73 more cents than the regular milk. Yeah.
I first off, this world that we inhabited, like I remember their grandpa Al Lewis from the Munsters. I'd go hang out at his house with his kids. He had the container in the refrigerator, which was half regular milk and half powdered milk. Like they'd step on.
Wow.
Imagine buying a gallon of milk and going, well, just pour a half gallon of this. Then I'm going over to the sink. I'm going to the sink to top it off. Okay, first off, I've said it a million times. If you can't afford milk, you cannot have children.
Yeah.
That's the most basic.
Right.
And by the way, I'm talking all of nature. Like if you're a wolf who can't nurse its pups, we're taking the pups away.
Yeah.
We're going to raise them in a habitat because you cannot provide milk. Like the essence of life is fucking milk, and you won't do it. There's powdered. Anyone who dodged the powdered milk era in this country, look at yourself as blessed. There was such a thing as powdered milk. Mm-hmm. Somebody decided that milk was too exotic.
Yeah.
Like I grew up with people who went, you want milk?
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Slow it down, boy. Like, you want to fly in the Concorde to the Gelsons and get milk? Like, it's like, milk was a bridge too far for half the families I knew. The worst thing Tupperware ever created was that weird refrigerator thing with the pop cap strap on it, because that's where all the shit went down. That's where all the instant, all the stuff that wasn't real. Like like orange juice, but not orange juice. God forbid, orange juice. It was a frozen block.
Oh, the concentrate.
It was a block of a thing, and you put it in there, more tap water, and then you'd shake it up, and that. It's like, really, just orange juice. Too far. Yeah. Too much.
My milk experience was that when my parents would have people over, they would get fancy and buy these pre-made shrimp cocktails where little tiny shrimp are in a marinade sauce in a small glass with a lid on it.
Yes.
Those were 6 ounces.
Yes.
And those became our milk glasses. We got one glass. It was like a shot of milk that we got at dinner. And we were all skinny. Like my legs were like toothpicks. I didn't wear shorts as a kid because I was so embarrassed. It was like the fucking Irish famine. My mother grew up one of 7 in the Bronx, poor, and she could never, and we had money. Mm-hmm. This was not necessary.
Oh, yeah. I think it's maybe worse because Drew's family was the same way. Like they had money, but they wouldn't provide. They wouldn't do it anyway. And you think back, like my family was so insanely cheap that when my sister got married, she of course got married at my grandparents' house, which is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,200 square foot piece of shit in the San Fernando Valley, but it had a yard where one could get married for free. And my grandmother, my sister's an adult. I'm an adult now. Like I'm in show business. No, wasn't in show business just yet. But anyway, my grandma's lamenting to me before the wedding, like a week before the wedding. She goes, "Man, this guy your sister's marrying, he's running up the tab. This was supposed to be sort of, on the cheap and easy. And now he's getting all crazy and exotic, and I'm like, oh, what's he want, an ice sculpture or belly dancers? And she goes, he doesn't want to use plastic sporks. He doesn't want to use paper plates and plastic forks. Yeah. Can you believe that? I mean, what are we talking about here? Yeah. Sultan of Brunei is getting married. And I go, nobody wants plastic forks and paper plates at at their wedding. And she's like, I don't get it. What's he want? Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so insanely cheap that you think the guy wanting some silverware at his fucking wedding is him being wildly unreasonable and a money gouger. Like that's where she's laying it on me like I'm going to go, oh my God, I'm going to go talk to this guy right now. Right. Like, I'm fucking punching in the face. You want my grandmother, you want something solid to hold up your cheap cut of beef when you lift it off not on my watch. Listen. You're lucky we're not just using a spork. I said, get rid of the spoon and why are we having a spoon and a fork? We just could save money with a spork. We can just go down to Colonel Sanders and I can slip a few of those in my backpack. Yeah.
Oh, I've been to the wedding that came up in Wisconsin. It had the invite, and then on the bottom said like Kentucky Fried Chicken will be served at the reception. All right. Did it just got
Midwest Midwest goes fucking low. They do barn weddings with kegs.
Oh yeah.
I have been, when I went to Darren's wedding, who is the drummer from Goldfinger, who I was thinking about the other day, he had a cash bar.
Yeah. Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I was like, I walked up the bar. The Goldfinger sold a few records by then, and I just walked up the bar and like, give me a scotch and a rock, whatever on the rocks. And the guy's like, all right. $11. Okay, here's my whole thing. Don't get married if that's too exotic for you. Right. Don't you can't have it.
The other cheap thing,
Darren Pfeiffer, good dude. I like Darren, but you can't have a cash bar at a wedding. You can't do it. First off, the only reason I showed up was for the free booze. Like, you know what I mean? Half the people are there just for the free shit.
That's the thing now I find with friends is they have a birthday party at a bar, and maybe they even get a back room. Maybe there's a designated room. But they're not paying for the drinks. What's your take on that?
Oh,
it's like someone's 50th.
I have gotten into this argument with a few people, but I may be mistaken. The person that invites the other person to dinner is the one who's paying for dinner. That's usually the way I do. If it's a couple, and I do it all the time, go out with Dr. Drew, go out with this guy, that guy and his wife, or whatever. If you initiate the contact, then it's incumbent upon the person that calls the person. Now, sometimes it's kind of a mutual thing. Yeah. They go, we should get together. All right, let's get something on the calendar or something. But if you just invite somebody to dinner, you should pay. You should be the one who pays for the dinner.
So
the person who
by
initiates
extension, if you have a party and 20 people come for your 50th, you should pick up the drinks for everybody.
I think if you're throwing the thing and you invite the people, and also I will say this, this happened. I'll leave the names out, but if one goes out to dinner with one other guy, and, you get the steak, and he gets the steak, but he gets the steak and the lobster tail, too, or whatever, and then does a thing where he's like, I'm going to bring a slice of cake home to my wife because she wants... When the bill comes, you got to tack another 20 onto your side of the bill.
I'll
you can't just go... You can't... It happens all the time. The person next to you has had 3 martinis and you've had a refill on your iced coffee, and the thing comes around and they're like, all right, whack it up. And it's like, you got $61 worth of booze. I got free refills on my iced tea. Yeah. You got to factor that in.
My buddy Fish in Madison is the worst with that. That guy, we would go out to dinner and him and his wife would, they'd get big entrees, and I'm not a huge eater, but I'd probably get like a sandwich and a side salad. My bill would be $18. They would rack up $130, and then the bill would come and go, hey, you just want to split this?
Yeah, you can't do it. No. You got to know. You got to know. All right, let's take a break. Rudy's got the news queued up, and we'll do that with Fitz Dog right after this.
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Summer of Cinema is here. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Mission Impossible, Beverly Hills Cop, Good Burger, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Bring the action with you and stream for free from all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
Select quote. Well, there's so many things in life we never get around to. Taking up that hobby, cleaning out the garage, the little things that don't really make a huge difference in our lives. Well, there are things that a lot of us haven't gotten to, may have neglected, that make a huge impact in your family's future, and that's life insurance. And with Select Quote, getting covered with the right policy for you is easier and more affordable than you may think. If you have high blood pressure, no problem. If you have diabetes, that's fine too. Even if you have heart disease, Select Quote partners with carriers that can cover those conditions and others. Head to SelectQuote.com and a licensed insurance agent will call you right away with the right policy for you and your budget. It's Select Quote, right, Dawson?
Select Quote. They shop, you save. Get the right life insurance for you for less at SelectQuote.com/Carolla. Go to SelectQuote.com/Carolla today to get started. That's SelectQuote.com/Carolla.
What about the Boy Scouts that don't know when to get out of the business? Those old ones, what do they call them, Eagle Scouts? They're like 18 years old, they got a mustache, they're still wearing those stupid little shorts and a handkerchief. It's like, dude, grow a dick and join the Marines at this point. You got too big to molest.
Greg Fitzsimmons is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Fitz Dog's got dates. It's going to be in Tampa, going to be in Torrance, going to be in Temecula. No, I just was on a alliteration roll there. Point Pleasant, New Jersey's coming up after that. Real good stand-up comedian. So go to GregFitzsimmons.com for all his dates. And go find Rudy, too. He's a really good comedian as well. Rudy's really stepped up his game.
Thanks, man.
People are laughing.
Yeah, can't wait. We're going to be in Salt Lake City coming up in a couple of weeks together. So looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rudy's really good stand-up.
Thanks, man.
And improving all the time. But working on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, it's always a work in progress. Yeah. You guys know the Olympic boxer Imane Khelif?
Yeah.
That's the picture right there. Yeah, I just want to make sure you guys know.
Is it Imane?
It's funny because
it's funny.
I found 13 different websites that all said it differently. So I just went with the one that sounded the most Americanized. So Imane Khelif is her name. But there's a little bit of, if you remember, Greg, she won the gold medal because she beat the girl from China in the Olympics. Yeah.
All right, hold on. It's always funny because I like when people's names sort of compete with what they're doing.
Sure.
So Imane is being accused of being a man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then Gene Hackman became an actor. But his name Hackman. Like you'd be making fun of a guy who's a shitty actor. And then there's my friend over at the Calico Fish House, Chef Gruel. Gruel's slop that you feed to prisoners in 18th century France. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird when you get a last name. And by the way, Peter Dinklage, Dinky,
Tiny.
Dinkler, Dinklage. I mean, it's weird when you are.
I got a buddy named Ross Broccoli who is a farmer in Nebraska.
Get out.
Perfect.
Yep.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude who did my vasectomy, Dr. Pleasance.
Oh, really?
Great name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Recently came out that newly leaked test results prove that Olympic boxer Imane Khelif does have male chromosomes after the International Olympic Committee dismissed the claim as not legit and let her compete in the Paris 2024 games.
Well, people were complaining at the time, and then they said, there's nothing to see here. A little bit of it is like, there's a little bit of a sniff test. Like there's a part where you're going, man, that guy's got pretty ripped up arms, or that gal.
Yeah.
And a stiff jab. And the other competitors are like quitting in the middle of the bout. And it's kind of like.
Well, is one of the takes that she's, what do you call it when you have both organs?
A hermaphrodite?
Is she like that she's a hermaphrodite?
Maybe, because this does say that she was found to have male XY chromosomes in a 2023 test.
There's a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of speculation at the time. Basically what it is, and there was a lot of speculation time that it was a male, but then now it's more confirmation that it was a male or something. But everyone went on everyone has said it's a dude, a new asshole, because they weren't being inclusive or they're being whatever, and then it turned into a whole big thing. But it's sort of like people were looking at her/him, and you get to the gold medal round, and the chick you're fighting quits 40 seconds into it. It's like it, and you look at the face, and you look at the arms, and you're kind of like, and then you kind of get into this Joe Biden world where you have all these guys going out going, hey, the White House said he was fine. And it's like, yeah, you can see video of him looking completely out. Use your own sniff test a little bit. Like, well, they didn't say anything. Yeah, well, they're not going to say anything. That's what they do. But you can see video of him kind of looking disoriented. It's on you. It's like the sniff. She didn't. Hey, man, didn't pass the sniff test, but I don't know.
Guys in the booth, there's a photo on the New York Post. I don't know if you guys have that from the email earlier, but if you bring up that photo, it's her in like a suit almost. It's a kind of a headshot. And when you when I first saw it, I'm not joking, I thought that it was a picture from the White Chicks with the Wayans brothers. Remember? And I was like, oh, what? And then I realized, but when you see the features of her face, you go, that's a dude. There's no way that can't be a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but there are chicks that are much more dude than I am, who are just chicks.
Ah, there you go, right there. That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
having a manly face, I mean, there's a lot of women in sports that look manly.
China from the WWE.
Yeah.
Remember her? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She had something. She had a disease that was like, and I don't know if it's a disease, but a condition that was like one of those two words you don't want to put together. Like, it was like clitoris gigantism or something like two words you didn't want put together. What she had, like clitora mania or something. Like it was like literally like taking this word, putting it with that word, and doing the opposite of a Reese's peanut butter cup. Like you're making the worst thing ever. Now
I thought that dude played in Guar.
Yeah, clitoris
giganta.
Look up China's whatever. It was like clitoris something, and I remember just thinking like. It's like if you were eating, when you heard it, you'd put your fork down and lean back for a second. I can't finish this lasagna now.
I'm trying to think of who was the woman basketball player that was held in a Russian prison for a long time?
Oh, she's got the voice.
The voice.
Brittany Griner.
Right.
Brittany Griner. I mean, that's intense.
Right. But then you're like, maybe everyone over 6'7" has that voice,
Right.
You know. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, when you hear her talk, it sounds like Mr. Ed.
Yeah, we had a couple of neighbors named the McKibbins back in the day, and they were all mom, dad, son, daughters. They were all like 6'5" and massive. And you know, when Billy was it Billy Madison? O'Doyle rules. That family, like that's what we lived across the street from.
Yeah.
And Shiloh McKibbin would come out and just wreck shop on every dude in the street playing football.
Yeah.
Just stiff arm the shit out of them. Kids would
What?
be busted
Right.
up.
What happened to crazy families that lived next door?
Yeah.
We had like the Montgomerys. There were
It's
two
always
dudes.
Irish.
They had
Yeah.
a dog named Moon who was like a
Yeah.
wild dingo. They'd let it run outside. It would attack everybody.
The lawn never had grass on it.
Anyone who rode by on a bike would get chased by a
Yeah.
dog that was literally blue and greasy. Like when a dog is, the color of the dog is blue and it looks like it's covered with grease. It's like a literally African wild dog. And they would not keep it in the yard. They had a fence.
Yeah.
They let it run wild. It attacked me once. Any old lady walking down, it was Moon was on him. The two fucking brothers were nuts. Like later on, I found out the Montgomery brothers like held up a supermarket or something.
Wow.
Like what happened to the crazies? You know,
Yeah.
that the Graviches over there and the Montgomerys over here, and they're fucked up and they were doing stupid shit.
Right.
Someone was in juvie.
Yeah.
You know what?
There's a lot of motorcycles.
Yeah, what happened?
But kind of taken apart on the lawn.
Yeah, it was probably us just staring at our phones now. We don't need the crazy neighbors to entertain us. We can watch all the crazy
Right.
Well,
happen
also,
on our
nobody can
phones.
afford more than 2 kids anymore, so you're not getting those big families. I mean, it's a abortions are very popular these days.
Shopify. Well, you want to start your own business, but that can be a little bit intimidating. Finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything can be such a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. You'll be able to get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. So if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Am I right, Dawson?
Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Carolla, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Carolla to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/Carolla.
Simply Safe. Well, it's important to feel safe, especially at home. That's why people have lots of things around the house to make them feel safe. And Simply Safe. Well, that makes me feel safe. There's 2 I's in Simply Safe, by the way. Traditional security systems only take action after someone has already broken in. That's too late. Simply Safe is setting the new standard in home security. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection can help prevent break-ins before they happen. With AI-powered cameras backed by live professional monitoring agents, well, they'll monitor your property and detect suspicious activity before that suspicious activity gets in the living room. Monitoring plans start affordably around $1 a day. We've always been fans of these guys. They've always been great sponsors, and everyone here uses them. What else can you say? It's Simply Safe, right, Dawson?
You can get 50% off your new Simply Safe system with professional monitoring and your first month free at simplysafe.com/Adam. Just head to simplysafe.com/Adam to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this year. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
What the syndrome that China had, the China syndrome.
Oh, by the way, one more name. Andy Dick. How did we leave that one out?
Oh, you're right, right.
Okay.
Clitoromegalia or megala.
Wow.
Clitoromegala.
Yeah.
That's just
It
walk to
sounds
the other
like-
side of the street.
It sounds like a dinosaur that's going to fuck you.
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's what she had.
Wow.
Yeah, that's bad.
All right, guys. So youth violence has skyrocketed in New York City over the past couple of years. One of the police commissioner Jessica Tisch came out, and she blames it on the raise the age law. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I looked it up. So apparently kids who have committed crimes, especially violent crimes like gun-related charges, usually around the age of 14, could be tried as an adult. Now they've bumped that up to about 16 to 17.
Okay.
So let's break it down. Everything is just getting younger in terms of activities, and violent crime shouldn't be any different. Like, let's just go back 50 years and go to the youth, 15 and under basketball McDonald's All-Star team.
Yeah.
No one's dunking.
Right.
You look at 13-year-old guys play basketball, or 14, 15 on the McDonald's All-Star, whatever thing. They're dunking. They're jamming. They're taller. They're bigger. They're just doing stuff that no one formally did, know? Right. And like everything, fucking, fighting, dunking, it's all like younger and younger and younger. You got, and on the good end too, you got like 3-year-olds doing long division and stuff with the Chinese mom, or playing Beethoven on the Steinway at age 5 and stuff.
There's a 2.5-year-old. It's a Mensa. The youngest Mensa of all time was just announced this week in England.
I just got the shit kicked out of me by a 3-year-old who was a 12th degree black belt in Taekwondo. Kid was eyeballing me. I told him to give me some space. I was on my back. He'd tap it out like 10 seconds later. Like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's going to be a UFC champ who's 17 in 5 years, right? Like, everything is just skewed down. It took Tony Hawk till his 36th birthday to do a 690 on a skateboard. The next guy did it was 13, like 4 weeks later, right?
Right.
So it would make sense that violence and murder and rape and all the other stuff, that's just going to skew down. Maybe some of the same people that McDonald's put on the All-Star team. I don't know, but I'm saying it's all trending down.
Yeah, well,
right?
Also, there's been a lot of stories in the last couple of years about kids that are 9 stealing their parents' cars and driving down the highway. They can
barely see over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So, but it's a combination of look, cops aren't really doing. First off, we all grew up scared shitless of cops, just scared to death.
Still
scared.
Detective Palacio in my town.
And people go, "You want that?" And I go, "Yes, I do. I want them scared. And they go, "Well, they shouldn't." But the cop needs to respect them and I'm like, "No, they don't. They should just be fucking scared. Hope your kids are scared of cops because hope your kids are." They have the same relationship with fucking alligators. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just go up to the shore edge there and I'll just put some chicken around my neck. Yeah. And it's like, and you go, well, what if the alligator? Oh, fuck that alligator. It's like, no, get away.
Yeah.
Get away. Just get the fuck away and you see that alligator, don't get in his face. Walk to the other side of the swamp, whatever. They're not scared. And also, when you hear someone well, this kid was arrested 31 times before he was 15, all right, what message does he have?
Right.
He's not going anywhere. You're not doing this. Fucking do whatever you want. It's game on.
It's fun to be scared of the cops. We grew up. I mean, Detective Palacio was like a legend.
You knew his name.
Yeah, we got arrested a lot. I used to get arrested a lot.
Yeah.
And but nothing horrible. Just vandalism and stealing beer.
But you
and
knew
stuff.
that you're on a last name basis with Palacio.
Yeah, I shot out a window with a slingshot one time and ran through the woods, and Palacio was fucking chasing me on foot. It was amazing.
You live in Boston, right?
New York.
Oh, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I was going to say, I grew up in a small town, Hibbing, Minnesota. So I understand how we knew the cops on a first name basis. But in New York.
You grew up in the same town as Bob Dylan?
Yeah. Same
no
town.
Fucking way.
Yeah, same place. Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Yeah. A buddy of mine used to live in his house. So we would be outside, dicking around, smoking cigarettes, skateboarding.
Damn.
And then during the summertime, people would come around and want to take pictures. And there was a guy came up to my buddy Carrie who was his parents' house, and he walked up and he goes, "Hey man, you live here?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Just wondering, like at night, do you hear Bob Dylan's music?" And Carrie goes, "If I leave the radio on, he's not dead. What the hell are you talking about?"
I like that movie.
That was good.
Yeah, it was
Completely
good.
Unknown. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I didn't learn anything about music, but I learned a lot about how to treat ladies from watching that movie, which Bob just sat there and did whatever he wanted all the time, every time. And I like that precedent, you know what I mean? Like just establishing, like, look, we can hang out and fuck, but I don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't help you with your shit. If another hot chick comes around, definitely fucking her, and I'm just going to sit here immersed in my own shit.
Yeah.
So those are kind of our rules. You want to hang out, great.
Well, being a musical genius is
Yeah.
kind of a prerequisite for that.
Yes.
Podcasting, they're not going to stick around.
No. You have to have a kind of a savant-like genius, you know. You can't be like doofus from North Hollywood because you have to clean the gutters and do stuff like that. Yeah, you're right.
They had sent my hometown sent a letter to Mr. Zimmerman, as they would call him. You know, they sent it to him like, "Hey, we want to have a Bob Dylan days here in Hibbing." So they send him this whole proposal. Would he come to town and do the thing? Whatever. He sends a letter back. And instead of, somebody from the town reading it and then, relaying to the people, they decide on public access, we're going to open this thing live and see what it says. Obviously, he's going to come back to town. And they open it up in the middle of like a city council meeting or whatever. They open it up and the guy starts reading it. "Dear City of Hibbing, to whom this may concern, Mr. Zimmerman does not acknowledge the City of Hibbing." Okay, well, never mind. So I guess that's sad. He's not coming to town. Anyways, we were talking about trash removal over on 6th Street. Yeah.
You had to know
Had to
Bob
know,
Dylan was
yeah.
not.
He didn't go to get his, was it a Pulitzer? No,
Yeah,
what
it
was
was
the
a
award?
Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize. He didn't show
Didn't even
up.
show.
There are people, I'm very interested in these people. I just call them difficult. You know, they just go, he's not doing this, or he's not going along with that. Or it's like every, they say the sentence a lot. They go, "I'm not doing that." You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think I've ever said I'm not doing that. I've just said like, well, maybe we could do something else, or I'm not in the mood for that food, or like whatever, fuck it, whatever. But there's difficult. And they come in all different sexes and shapes and sizes, and they do not necessarily comport with the person's social ranking. You know what I mean? There are, like, Mark Garagos is one of the least difficult people I've ever met. He's always, "Oh yeah, whatever, let's do it, or fine, or who cares?" You know what I mean? Which is weird because you think Mark Garagos wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
But then there are people who are much lower down the food chain that are super fucking difficult. And it's weird. Rudy's an easy person, which is his greatest. Rudy's asset is easy.
Yeah.
And it's always easy. And because if you ever have to travel with difficult people, that is their Super Bowl of difficult.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
they're fucking talking to the chick behind the counter when they're checking. This room, is it the airport side of the building, or is it the highway side? Because the airport side, like, it's already, oh man, we haven't even started and
Yeah.
we're getting into this. Then there's the restaurant stuff where they got all the difficulty there. Then there's lots of, there's a lot of like, well, just let's walk to the club. Just walk. I'm not walking to the club. It's like a lot. It's like, it is their Super Bowl of difficult. Travel is that if you get easy, Rudy's easy, Dr. Drew's easy.
Yeah.
You need a little low self-esteem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And Mike August, bizarrely, is easy person to travel with. You just go, you can do a lot of, the litmus test with the difficult person versus the easy person is, what time are we leaving for the airport?
Yeah.
Because when you do it with Mike August, you just go, "What time's the flight?" And he goes, 9 a.m. All right. What time how long is it going to take to get there? And I go, half hour. And you go, "We got to check the merch bag?" "Yeah, we got to check the bag." "All right, I'll meet you down at 7:30. And he goes, "All right." And then he just leaves. Everyone else, difficult, like,
Hey.
"All right, wait a minute. What if there's what if there's an issue with the Uber? You want to meet here in the lobby, or we're going to meet out front?" Like, there's a long mix with, I'm not going to, I like to get to I want to get something to eat.
Yeah.
So I want to get, like,
Yeah.
easy, difficult. I don't know how it works. It's in the genes.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it, but there are difficult people.
Yeah.
We all know them. And the real moral of the story, kids, is two of you pains in the ass can't hang out together.
No.
You need
need
one
an enabler.
fucking
Yin and yang.
You need one flexible person
Yeah.
that goes, I don't know, when do you want to? What time do you want to eat? You know,
Yeah.
just or what do you
Right.
want to? That's what you need. Otherwise, the two of you get to loggerheads, and you always hate the other person because
Right,
you don't
right.
understand you're the difficult person,
Yeah.
and they don't understand they're the difficult person.
Well, I think the self-esteem thing is at the base of it. Like, people just go like, "Why? I've been married 25 years, so happy,
Yeah.
so in love still. What's the secret? We both have low self-esteem.
good.
Yeah.
That's
Just-
good.
Whereas
Yeah.
we can't believe this other person will take us. You know, I'm in awe of her. Like that, and then I'm like, why me?
Yeah.
And she kind of feels the same way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something Fitz dog maybe for another show, but I was talking to Rudy about this on the road. I'm really drilling down these days on insecurity.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people who act in a certain way where first off, they make these proclamations where they go like, I'm the best and you know it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like stuff like that. And I always think, first off, you haven't cracked my top 50. Like, what? I don't know it. But I realize that lots of friction that I have with people is based on their insecurity, which sounds convenient for me to say. But I also realize I don't have an ounce of insecurity. I have stuff I know I'm not good at, but whatever that thing is, I don't have insecurities about it. I've never had insecurity about anything, so I don't walk around sort of half-cocked a lot. Like, what, you think I'm stupid? You think I'm
Yeah,
stupid?
right.
I don't have that at all. I've never had it. And I think a lot of it is having a trade, like being a carpenter or like being a doctor or something. I notice that the people that have skill sets and are accomplished and sort of good don't have that chip on their shoulder thing all the time. But I realize a lot of it is insecurity. Like you're dealing with people, the people, it's sort of like liars accusing you of lying all the time when you don't lie, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you lie all. That's why. And they go, that guy was lying. Did you see that guy? And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think he was lying. Oh, you're a liar.
Yeah.
So I think what we're talking about, it's sort of when you see the big fat welfare mama who's screaming, you respect me. You better respect me. It's like, why? You don't have a job.
Yeah.
You don't know 3 of your kids. You're about to be arrested. Like,
Right.
why? You're living on welfare. Like, why do I? And she's screaming it. And you're like, oh, this is all this weird projection insecurity. And I've realized like a lot of beefs and issues I've had with people over the years are sort of steeped in a lack of, I don't know insecurity. And I'm not saying that in a grandiose way. It's just, I don't know it. I don't have a relationship with it. I don't feel scared of things. I feel like I'm good at things. And then there's shit I'm not good at. And I don't do it. I'll pay somebody to do it or whatever. But I don't have that insecure feeling. So I don't feel it, recognize it, or understand it. That there's a lot of people that have a lot of it. And it's kind of guiding them. It's like it navigates them.
Right. Well, I also think there's something interesting about how you can admire somebody. Like in the comedy world, obviously there's a lot of people interacting and you have to introduce them. You have to go on the road with them. You have to share a green room with them. And there's a lot of sizing up. And I find that if I really respect somebody, I think they're a good comic, they're a good guy, they're married, but whatever. If they don't like me, I'm not the guy that goes, I fucking hate that guy.
Right.
I can still like somebody if they don't like me, if they reject me.
Yes, that's an important part of this.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself as a non-insecure person saying, well, maybe the guy forgot or he's late or he has his own. I'm sure there's a reason why. And the insecure person is like, because he's an asshole. That's why. Because he thinks I'm stupid.
Right.
You know, and I go, no, he's just maybe he's got some other issue he's thinking about. So you find yourself like making excuses for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm now starting to think that insecurity is at a weird level in our world because people who like did stuff like built bridges and turned wrenches and fixed stuff and sort of had a hands-on sort of tactile whatever, those guys were always super secure. Like they felt like they could fight. They felt like they could fix things. And now everyone's in some weird, I've spent 3 hours looking at porn on my phone, world. And I took a few edibles and I'm fat,
I don't picture a guy in a tool belt sitting on a Reddit site shitting on the Jay Giles band.
Right, yeah.
Interesting choice, but
yeah. Centerfold is a monotonous slog.
Love stinks. This song stinks.
Yeah, although I do hate that song. But do you guys vibing on what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's around. And also, you see it with other comedians. Like, you don't have to think that that guy sucks or there's a lot of people go, that guy doesn't like you because he wishes he had what you had. And I'm always like, I don't know. Does he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that what he thinks?
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like I'm a guy with a lot of insecurities, but anytime somebody says like, hey, you're not allowed to be in here, go over there, I'm just like, okay, great. And I just go and I do it. But you're right. The people that freak out about that stuff, like, as you said, you think I'm stupid, you don't, why are you? It feels like if you are that insecure, you should be the one who's towing it down a little bit and going, man, I don't know how to do this. Please tell me how to do it or show me the way. But it's almost like they just go, I know what I'm doing. You get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah, well, it is about being in your lane. If you have a craft, if you have a focus, if you feel good and grateful about what's in your life, you're less apt to feel like somebody judging you is actually a confirmation of things about you that you really feel bad about.
I think the best way to feel secure is a diversity of abilities. Like, I realize if you can, as I think about myself, I go, well, I've written a book and I made a documentary, but I can also drive a race car, and I was a boxing coach. So they're all very far apart, but if you feel like I feel comfortable in all those different environments that are sort of far apart, then you have an overall security, I guess. I mean, I'm approaching it from me thinking about myself, which is, it's not a grandiosity. It's just it almost just makes you laid back. You don't feel like everything's in a front.
Yeah.
When somebody cuts you off on the freeway, you don't have to speed up and get in front of them and slam the brakes on and like stuff. You can just sort of whatever. Like, I feel like the most secure and the sort of calmest guys at the bar are UFC fighters. You know what I mean? They're just kind of, they're friendly.
Yeah,
they don't, no chip. Nobody thinks they're going to beat them up. And it's a thing. I'm just saying, I think it's bigger than it used to be. And I've noticed that, like, a lot of people, like I said, the signs are, you think I'm stupid, or you think, a lot of, like, you're disrespecting me or whatever. Also, insecure people you can't joke with. Like I bust people's balls just because it's funny to bust people's balls. That's what I do. Secure people laugh. Insecure people get shitty about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you a lot of the people that shit on other people, a lot of them can't take it back.
At
I
all.
find that with comedians.
At all, which is weird, right?
Yeah. And people go on roasts and they come off like butthurt, like
angry.
what? I can't believe they said that. Like Tom Brady is very upset. He regrets it. He's bad-mouthing Netflix and everybody that did the roast of him. It's like, did you watch the past roasts?
Yeah.
There are no fucking rules.
Yep.
And you just got divorced from a supermodel who's fucking her trainer.
Yeah.
Who's probably secure because he knows Taekwondo.
Yeah.
My thing is, if I ever get roasted, fine, but Tom Brady's kids are off limits. I do a little twist on it. You say whatever the fuck you want about my two shitty kids all fucking day long, but Tom Brady's kids, they're off limits.
You should make a list of the things you know you're good at. Like, there's 2 things I know I'm good at. Number 1, Photoshop. I know Photoshop back and forth. I know everything about it.
Okay.
Absolutely. The other thing, skimming off the merch table.
Yeah, felt light.
Nobody who skims off that table like this guy.
A little light.
Yeah.
A little
Why
light.
is he flying first class and I'm in coach?
Little light. All right, Rudy, I'm going to give you a plug. Going to be in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're 7th through the 18th?
Well, I think I may have screwed that up because I'm with you in Wisconsin on the 17th, and then I'm doing Don't Tells in Milwaukee 18th and 19th, and then you and I are at the Pabst Theater together on the 20th.
Oh, so maybe the 17th.
17th is what it's supposed to be, yeah, the 17th.
Sometimes, if you don't put that extra digit in there, it changes almost everything. House of Blues coming up in Houston.
Yeah, and then also because I got a few dates with you, but my main gig is being out with Michael Yo. He just signed on to host a game show in Atlanta, so he's taking 3 months off, which means I now have to take 3 months off. So please, if you have a brewery or a winery, or you have a back tool shed or a sauna in Tacoma, I will do it. I just need to get to September because, man, my daughter turned 17 and is going to Coldplay on Friday, and I got a lot of crap to pay for. So
She's going to buy merch.
yes.
Merch.
Hopefully we can skim off that merch table too.
Yeah.
So yes.
Fitzdog's got dates coming up in Tampa, Torrance, Point Pleasant, and all you got to do is go to GregFitzsimmons.com. It's very funny stand-up. I'm in Salt Lake City at Wise Guys doing 2 shows Thursday, 2 shows Friday, coming up on the 13th, 14th, and Rudy will be with me there. And then Kimmel's Place in Vegas on the 19th. And just go to AdamCarolla.com for all the info. And until next time, Adam Carolla for Fitzsimmons and Rudy Pavich saying, mahalo.